In this video, I'd like to show the process of removing some damaged areas from a cymbal. As you can see, this cymbal is missing quite a bit of material, and in the lower quadrant, the cracks continue on, and you'll hear them buzz in the next section when played with a mallet. First, I mark off the area that I need to remove. I'll use a bandsaw to cut through the cymbal. I don't recommend tin snips because the snips will bend the material. You can always hammer it back, but I think it's a lot cleaner to use a bandsaw. Bandsaw is moving in one direction, so it's a lot easier to control, and you get a lot cleaner of a cut. Unfortunately, my blade is not very thin, so I can't make radial cuts, but what I'll do is I'll chip away at it, removing most of the damaged area and getting as close to my line as possible. And then I'll go clean it up on my belt sander. As always, follow safety precautions, know your machines, don't do anything with a machine that's outside of your capabilities. Also, be careful when cutting the material because the bronze will get hot. So any of the pieces that you've cut off, as well as the cymbal, the edges can become hot to the touch, so be careful of that. And also, try not to go too quickly with the blade or with a belt sander or any other power tool. It may have a tendency, when too much heat is built up, it will burn the bronze a little bit. And when it comes to bronze, you don't necessarily want to do that to the metal. You want to just go slowly. You just want to go easily into the material and just do it easily and gently and keep it cool. My bandsaw is only a 10-inch bandsaw, so therefore I have to keep flipping the cymbal and feeding it from the right side of the saw blade. There are machines that are obviously bigger than 10-inch, which afford you the ability to feed it from the left side as well as the right side, so that's why you see me having to flip and adjust the cymbal as I'm taking material off. So if you have a bandsaw that's larger than 10 inches, that's awesome. If not, a 10 will work, but you just have to flip it and work it and chip into the material and you'll get it done. Here on the bandsaw, I'm just going to follow my line and come as close as possible, if not a little bit over the line that I've drawn to remove some of the material that needs to be removed, especially where in the previous picture I had two black dots. Those two black dots signify to me where those additional cracks stop. So I need to go into those black dots to ensure I have removed all of the cracked material. Because if I don't, I could hear a buzz, but worse off, that crack can continue to work its way into the cymbal. So I want to make sure that I get rid of those, any of those small cracks that are left by either cutting or, in this case, sanding them past the point of where the cracks had penetrated into the cymbal. Here are the next marks where we will make cuts. And we're back at the bandsaw where we'll round over these edges. It certainly does help to remove the edges from a safety perspective, as far as they're kind of sharp, so you don't want to cut your hand on it, but also I think it helps from a vibrational perspective. So once we get this cut down, we'll head back over to our belt sander where we will finish these edges off. Working with the belt sander, we just want to make sure that we keep moving the cymbal along the belt. We don't want to stay in one position. It'll create flat spots, especially since we're trying to make a nice curved area here, a nice rounded edge. We just want to keep it moving. You can go from the right side to the left side, then back to the right side, just so that it gives the metal a little opportunity to cool in between. The grit of the belt is about 100 or less. Then what we'll do is, as we remove a vast majority of the material, getting as close to the radius that we want here, this nice rounded shape, we'll take the cymbal and then we will increase the grit of the sandpaper by hand. So we can move up to 150, then go to 225, and we'll really inspect the area and make sure that it's smooth and that we've gotten all of the cracks out as well. When sanding, I typically try to stay on the edge. I will sand under it a little bit as well as on the top, just to deburr it a bit, but I like to stay right on the edge. If you go sort of too much over or under, you can actually sand more of the cymbal material and you'll see sand marks on it. So if that's important to you, just stay on the edge, sand it carefully, and get a real nice smooth edge as you work your way up in grit in sandpaper. During this part of the process, before sanding, you can use files to fine-tune the edge. You can use fine files, half-rounded files, and you can make adjustments to the overall shape and then start working your sandpaper after filing, going from a coarse grit to a fine grit here as well. This would be the appropriate time to do that. After this part of the process, I'll spend some time in removing that tape residue that's underneath the cymbal. And once that tape residue is gone, I'll just do a light little cleaning of the cymbal, nothing aggressive, just to kind of get some of the grime off of it. And then once that's done, you can hear the finished product. there you have it. I hope that inspires you to do some repairs yourself.